Hi everyone, you reached Chronicles of the Gray Hair Diva. We're here tonight. We're going to have another relationship conversation. Don't forget when you come in the building, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and chat with us in the comments because we'll chat back with you. So I have my buddies here with me today. I'm going to bring them in the building. What's up,
What's
Chef Cat?
up?
How you doing?
What's going on? Chilling, chilling. Have a little technical difficulties on this side, so
All righty, but you here. We're glad to see you in the building. Hey, hey, our girl
Hey, Chris.
is back.
How are you? Hey, Chef Cat. How are y'all?
You good,
Everybody
good.
good?
You okay over there, chef?
Yeah, trying to. I don't know. Trying to get this computer to act. It ain't acting right, so I'm on my phone right now. So.
All right, well, we can hear you. You're looking good. I'm glad everybody's in the building. We're here tonight and we're going to have a conversation. We know we love our relationship talks, okay? So we're having a conversation on relationships, and our question of the night is it possible for couples these days to stay with just the couple, okay? Not have anyone else into this relationship, especially in the day and age of this social media. I think social media has given a lot of people access. Hey, hey, Chris Loves Lux. I think the social media has been giving people a lot of access to additional people. And that's how sometimes relationships go array. I'm going to be messy for a minute. I think these men these days, they don't know how to ignore the DMs. Okay, they say it goes down in the DMs. I think a lot of men fall victim, and I think I'm probably even using the wrong word, but they fall victim to the DMs and the attention. And these ladies start DMing them, and instead of them shutting it down, they entertain it, and then if they get pictures in these DMs from these ladies, they look at the pictures. They don't delete the pictures. They don't stop these females from, entertaining them. They fall into the trap and they fall victim to it. So, Kev, you the male in the building right now. Speak to us.
Uh,
Speak to us.
it's based on individuals. You know what I mean? Whether your individual, preference. You know what I mean? Some people are monogamous. Some people are not. It depends on the person. So I
Do
mean, it's
you
up.
have
It's
you
up to the
ever
individual.
fallen victim to the DMs?
No, I mean I
Never.
know what I was into. No, no, no. If I'm single, I'm single. But if I'm in a relationship or is married, no, I didn't fall victim to the DMs. No, to me, it seemed like a setup. You know you're married. It's not like you don't know. You know you're in a relationship. So how can you fall victim? You know what I mean? You know what you're dealing with. So I mean, no one forced you into that situation. So you have to act accordingly, unless whatever you have going on between y'all is between y'all. But in the end of the day, it comes down to how you don't have to say, "Oh, I fell victim," because it's like when people say, "Oh, I got drunk." Drunk is not an excuse. You know what I mean? You knew you were drinking. If you know you can't hold your liquor, don't hold your liquor. So I mean, that's just the bottom line. So to any person who says you fell victim to the DM, you didn't fall victim. You accepted the invite. That's all it is, and that's just the way it is.
So Chris Love Luck says, so you never stepped out?
No, no, that's my no, no,
Okay. He's a good guy, Chris. That's what he's saying to us. He
no,
said,
no,
he said, never ever. She said, never ever.
no. I was married.
Okay.
I was married. I was married. I didn't. There's no one could say, "Oh, I was with him
Okay,
when he
but
was." No,
outside of your marriage and when you had a relationship with a girlfriend, never ever in your life have you fell victim. You never stepped out.
no. I had, when I was
Come on,
like
son.
seeing somebody. Don't start. When I was seeing somebody, that's one thing. But when it was serious, 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 no, no, serious relationship. Don't call me that. Come on, son. Go ahead, Dad. When I was married, I was married. You can sit here and when I was married, I was married. Kay was married. That's it.
But it's not always about marriage. Were you in a relationship and you stepped out on her?
No,
Like
because we have.
she said, come on, son.
Don't go with that nonsense. Like I said, I stick with my words. That's all
Yeah,
I'm gonna say.
being married is one thing, but being
Hmm.
dating and in a relationship with someone that you are, it's supposed to be just the two of you. It's
Right.
supposed to be the two of you. And I'm
Right.
not
Hmm.
saying, but you've never had the
In
pleasure
that
of,
situation where it's just the two of us, no.
Okay. And you never fell victim to nobody else's conversation. No pretty girl, you never been in a relationship and some cute girl says something to you, um, did something for you, offered you something. You never fell victim ever in your life, your whole life.
No, no, I did. I made conversation, but I didn't fall victim where I slept with her or anything of that nature. No, I knew what I was doing. I knew what I was into. You know what I mean? I'm not stupid. You have a choice to be single. It's a choice. No one locks you. No, oh, I fell into a relationship. It's a choice. So I had a choice. You know, so that was that.
All right,
You
let's
know,
let's move on to Francis. We're in denial, sort of, kind of, with Chef Cat, but it's all good.
whatever, whatever. I don't in denial.
uh,
You have
uh,
never felt victim. You never been in a relationship and some other chick came and tried to talk to you or say something to you, and you never in your life felt victim to that. Kev, stop.
You remember entertaining the conversation? You talking about I had sex
Oh
with the
wait,
woman?
this
Two
is
different
a wait,
things.
wait, wait. Chris loves us and want to let you go. She said, and you always made it clear to women that you were dating that you were seeing others if it wasn't stated. We are monogamous.
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
You may, yeah. I'll wait. Hey, no, no, we ain't doing that.
All
Nope.
right. Okay. We'll move on to Francis really quick. Francis, what do you have to say in general about the topic?
well, in general, I don't think that nobody falls for to be a victim of a DM challenge because that's to me what it is. Um, just the other day, all I did was post a picture and my DMs blew up. All I
Mm,
did was post a picture, and I'm like, sorry, I'm taken. And one guy was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, sorry, sorry." You didn't know, but
right,
the thing is if I don't tell you, you don't know.
right.
But if we're gonna carry on a conversation, of course he's gonna think that he has an end. But no, if I'm loyal to a man, then I'm loyal. I don't, that's the relationship that I am in. He asked for monogamy, and I said yes, and because I said yes, that's what I do. You know, there have been several guys that have asked me from my past that, hey, you think no, I can't, I cannot. No, I'm in a relationship right now. I'm in a relationship with a man that's asked for monogamy, and guess what?
You're
I
going to keep
am,
it. Yeah,
please don't ask me for something that you're never going to get.
right.
And you know how I am. If I'm loyal to you, I'm loyal to you. If I'm not, if we're in that kind of in an open relationship and we're doing our thing, and you know that I go out on Thursday nights and to hang out with whoever, don't be mad.
Mm-hmm.
Get that straight up front. Anyway, what kind of relationship is this? You do your thing and we meet in the middle, or we just gonna meet in the middle all the time and there's not going to be any outside influences. So
Right.
you get that straight up front.
Okay, so yes, Chris loves us that men are very visual, and yes, they do lose it over pictures. I've seen it happen several times. Okay, and that's how a lot of these athletes get in trouble with these Instagram models, so to speak. They losing their mind over what they see in the picture, and they want more, and that's when all the DMs start coming in. So I'm gonna throw a question out there, not one of my questions. There's this guy calls himself Ace Metaphor. Um, has this conversational cards, relationship debates, let's talk. I don't know if y'all could kind of see that.
Mhm.
So I'm throwing out the first question here. What's the longest your significant other can say no to having sex before it starts affecting the relationship? Explain. So we'll go with you, Kevin.
Oh, I go with me first. Oh my good lord. Um, I, I, I don't know. I don't think there's a time frame. I mean, you got to have a conversation. If you're not having sex, you got to have a conversation. Like, what's going on?
5 days.
And 5 days, damn. Okay, 5 days. She's stepping out. Okay.
No, she
Um.
didn't say she was stepping out. There's going to be a conversation. It's going to start affecting the relationship. So the question is, what's the
Affected.
longest your significant other can say no to having sex before it starts affecting the relationship and explain? So here's the thing, what I like about that 5 days, right? The longer you let it linger, the longer it may go on. And
Hmm.
then the harder it is to just have the discussion and to fix whatever it is that's going on. So
Exactly.
yeah,
Well,
if it's go ahead.
honestly, it depends on how often you're having sex anyway.
Right.
So if you're a person that you and your significant other have sex 3 to 4 times a week, and it dwindles down to once a week or no times a week, hey, we
Right.
need to have a conversation. So yeah, what's going on? What's going on? But if I'm greedy, so if we're doing this 6 times a week or some form of sex 6 times a week, and you tell me no one day, I'll be like, okay, but day two, day three, we got an issue. What's going on? What's going on? But I'm greedy.
A
I know me.
conversation needs to be had. Right.
Exactly.
A conversation
Exactly.
needs to be had. Yeah. hmm
Absolutely. Yeah, too late. I can't do it. 5 days. That's too long.
Well, you know what? The thing is, we gotta add in there that in the midst of a relationship, life happens, right?
Mhm.
So you can let life happen, but you can't forget about each other.
Absolutely.
And so that's why, hey, Sassy, our girl is here. Miss you guys. We'll be jumping in and out of the chat, getting grandchildren ready for bed in the morning. All right, me, no worries. Thanks for stopping by. So yeah, you have to, and I think that's with anything. You can't let the issue linger too long. The longer you let the issue linger, the bigger the problem becomes over, and it could be over something small. But if you wait and let stuff pile up before you talk about it,
Absolutely.
um, it can become a bigger
And
issue
that's with
than-
anything in the
with
relationship.
anything, with anything in your relationship.
Hmm.
So we'll move on to the next question. Is it appropriate for your best friend and your significant other to routinely text each other about things that don't include you? Explain.
Hell no. What's she calling you for? Unless you a medical doctor, unless you a psychologist, there's no reason why she should be calling you or he. If my best friend is a male, I don't care. No. Sorry. Nope. There ain't no
um,
depends either, Chris. Why she calling you? Period.
well, but Kevin, do you want me to go or do you want to go?
Go ahead.
Okay. So Chris Loves Lux is my bestie, okay? And my significant other, right? Let me tell you, she would ask me something. I'd be like, girl, get out of here. Call him. I didn't care about the
But
conversation.
you gave her permission.
Yeah,
That's
Sorry.
different.
but
She came
but
to you first, but she
oh
came to you
no,
first.
no. This listen. I was with him for 20 plus years. I known her for for that same long time. And it was maybe I can't even say in the very beginning she might have asked me, but after that, you ain't have to ask me nothing. Don't call me. He worked for a telephone company. I was like, if you got a girl, but no matter what the question was, I'd be like, don't go ahead and call him. But she's not the only one. I had 2 other girlfriends too. They would ask me questions. I'd be like, girl, call him. So my thing with me, say which way, what she said. Yeah, if he's a Knicks fan and I'm a Knicks fan and it's basketball season, we chatting it up about the season. They sure did all the time, and I didn't get 2 rats behind because I'm not a basketball person. I didn't care. I didn't
Yeah,
care.
but
am
and that
you
was a conversation you weren't privy to.
No, I didn't care. I'd be like, yo, it's Chris. Here's Chris. Like she would call his phone. She would call his phone. I didn't care. No, that's my boo. Here's the thing. This is what I feel about men. I'm not that chick either that's gonna be looking through your phone. Um, to me, if you're gonna cheat, there's nothing that I'm gonna do that will be able to stop you anyway. And I'm not gonna be around here running myself ragged and crazy trying to look through your phone. It will come to light. It will come to light. And I'm not saying there are people out there that can't be trusted that are your girlfriends. I will say I'm very fortunate. Because like I said, Chris wasn't my only girlfriend that, would do that. I had 2 other girlfriends too. I'd be like, girl, bye, call him. Matter of fact, call him and tell him to bring me lunch because I'm busy. Like my 2 friends at work when I worked in the hospital, I'd be like, call him up, tell him bring me lunch. I'm hungry. If I didn't have time to call him, I'd be like, call him, tell him I said bring me lunch. So it's like, I think it depends on it. It always comes out in the wash. It always comes out in the wash. And I think it depends on who the person is. I wouldn't want to be around a girl that's tricky, sneaky, like that. That's the type of person I would not want in my circle. But that's not to say that a person like that won't end up in your circle, because sometimes you don't know people are dirty and grimy until you do know. So yeah, for me, in my situation, from everything I know, it wouldn't be a problem. It wouldn't be. We all went on vacation together. Yeah.
That's the relationship that you all did in time. That you all had time to get to know each other. You knew what his vices were and her vices were. That's a friendship that all of you all came together for. That's different as opposed to a girlfriend that say it's somebody from work or somebody not necessarily
random. We'll call her a random.
just some random friend that you picked up here and there from other conversations. No, why are you calling my man?
No, she should not be routinely, But this one does say, is it appropriate for your best friend? Yeah, that question said for your best friend and your significant other to routinely, I guess, can get a little tricky too. They wasn't texting each other all the time, but they did speak. So yeah, that is a little tricky when they saying routinely. Like that's almost like always texting each other, and nobody should always be texting someone else's significant other. So I do agree with that. Anything before we move on to the next question, Kevin? How you feel about that?
My best friend is a female, and she was texting my ex, so they had a communication and had no problem with it.
Well, she was a female. If your wife's best friend was a male and she was texting him all the time, would you be okay with that?
Well, what can I say? Because my best friend's a female. I text her. So what? You see what I'm saying?
So you would be okay?
So yeah, cool. You would be okay if your best friend being a male texting
if my best friend a male was, I think you said if her best friend was a male texting her. What you texting for? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I guess it was 2 females. I didn't think of it, but if it's a male, you'd be like, what you texting for? I mean, because if they're doing something behind your back, they're not gonna notify you. But I mean, like usually you're gonna text me first. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like So it's just that's the way it is. But no, like I said, depending on our relationship. If we tight like that, where I could just say, yo, I'm not worried about it. You know what I'm saying? I know he won't, because if you my best boy and I got you like that, I know you won't cut my throat. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, I mean, and not to that I know you have a best friend, and you and his wife will talk, whether it's and not necessarily to be malicious or anything about that, but you do talk to his wife, but y'all have that friendship, and y'all have
Yeah.
had that friendship for a while now. So it doesn't matter whether she talks to you being his wife or not. So
Yeah.
I know, I
Yeah.
mean, that's the type of relationship that you all have.
Hmm.
Yeah. So that's where that came from. No, I don't, that's why I'll tell nobody about my business. I stay to myself.
So again, Kevin, will go back to you. Rate these in the order of importance. Your mother, best friend, your child, your spouse, who is not your child's parent. Explain.
Who comes in order?
Yeah, what order of importance? Your mother, your best friend, your child's spouse, your child,
Uh-huh.
your spouse. I don't know what they mean by who is not your child's parent. Your spouse who is not your child's
This
parent.
step parent.
Oh, yeah, yeah, the step parent. So it's your spouse, but that is not your the child involved is
Hmm.
not the child between you and your spouse. So
Gotcha.
it's your mother, your best friend, your child, your spouse,
My spouse, meaning my wife.
your wife. So
My
and
wife
you
come
rate
first. That's
them.
easy.
Your wife
Absolutely.
come first.
My wife come
Absolutely.
first usually. Because
Absolutely.
when people, and what kills me is these so-called religious people who, because in every religion it tells you put God first and you put your husband and your wife, and everybody follows suit. So if
Mhm.
you don't trust the man that, or you don't trust the woman that you got to put your child in front of, I don't understand why you married them. Doesn't make sense to me. Because the person you marry will want the best for your child just like you do.
Mhm.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
So
No.
hopefully, because there are plenty of people out there that bamboozle you, and you think all is good, and then when you actually marry them,
Mhm.
you see and you find out the real truth.
Oh, absolutely.
Mhm.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think some people are so desperate to be with somebody, they overlook the signs because you can see how someone treats your child. And I see people say, "Oh, well, my ex-husband would buy his kids shoes, wouldn't buy my kids shoes." If he wasn't buying your kids shoes before you got married, why would you marry him? That's just how I look at it. So I mean, sometimes I think people want to be in a relationship so bad that they overlook these little small innuendos. Where it's like, if he gonna take the kids out, he gonna take the kids out. I don't see all of a sudden you said I do now he not taking your kid out with his kids. You know.
Well, wait, hold on, Kevin, because you said I'm not in agreement with you always see the sign.
No, I just believe that when you, because you pay attention to your kids, you pay close attention to your
Does
kids.
somebody, I hear extra, I don't know what I'm
That's
Yeah.
hearing.
that's me. That's me. Go
Oh,
ahead.
okay. Okay. So, so go ahead, Kevin, because I'm just saying, like, wait a minute. I Sometimes people they
Hmm.
hide a lot of stuff that you don't see until it's too late.
Yeah,
Like
that can happen.
you're already married. You trying to,
Hmm.
are you, okay, wait, are you saying that you see all these signs before you actually get married?
No, I'm not saying you can see every sign before you get married. What I'm saying is people pay very close attention to their children. Okay. And so before you get married, you see how this man interacts with your child. Okay. And
Mhm.
so, especially if he have kids. So if he's putting his kids before you, or vice versa, she's putting her kids before you, or something like that, you see this up front. Can you see things like being bamboozled? Yeah, it happens. It does happen. But you can see school time is coming up. He take his kids school shopping and don't do nothing for your child. You know what I mean? These things are signs. You know what I mean? When people, it's like you don't, if you sit there and when you are going out, like what Sassy talked about when she bought for her kid and uh, ex-husband's new kid, she bought for everybody. You know what I mean? That's what people do.
Mm.
When you start separating, you see those things. I see it all. I've seen it all the
Right,
time.
right. But you may not see it until after the fact. So some people know how to play the role all the way up into a certain point. And then afterwards, you're like, okay, but wait a minute. Before you did it for everybody, and now you're just doing it for yours. So some people, I mean, I get what you're saying. There are some signs that, and I don't know if I want to say the signs are being ignored or if you're so much in bliss that you don't recognize it.
Hmm.
And there's a difference too. You were so in love. It might have been there. The sign might have been there, but you didn't recognize it. So you supposed to put your man before your kid before marriage? No, no, ma'am. No,
Now, I'm
no.
not talking about. See, let's see. This is like I said before. You don't start acting like a husband after you get married. You start acting like a husband before you get married.
Agreed.
So if he's going to treat your child a certain way, he's going to be treating your child. Yeah, I realize I come from a blended family. So nobody can tell me nothing. I come from a blended family. I know how I was treated. Okay. When my parents was dating, he went to my open school night. He took me to college. When he sat there and they had the parents thing, he took me. He took me to get my books. Okay. So no one can tell me anything. He took me. My mom was at home. So he treated me like his son before they said I do. You understand? So I've seen it. So no one can tell me nothing. You don't act like a husband or a father after you say I do. You do it beforehand. So I've lived it, I've seen it. So you could throw all that out the window. Like I said, I
Well,
lived
that
that life. So
happened. You were fortunate. You have a good story. You were very fortunate. So, and I do agree that yes, you should, if this is the mate that you want to spend the rest of your life with while you're dating, um, you should fall into that role. But do I think just automatically with whomever you should be falling into that role? No.
no,
No.
no, not with
And
whomever.
then
That's when
and
you
then this is where I kind of I get what you're saying, but this is where I kind of cross the line in the road with you. Um you're saying, back to the other question you said, your spouse is always gonna come first. Um I think when you have a relationship with a situation where you get married and then you and your husband have these children together, it's easy for the spouse to come first and then the children, come after or whatever, however you want to say it, or kind of everybody's on the same level simultaneously. But I think when you have blended families, for me, in my mind, is different. That child has to be put first. This is just my thing, the child, your spouse. And just because you're saying the child is first, that doesn't mean that someone is being neglected and not being treated right or well. Um, that's just me. And it's because that child is in a sensitive position. Unfortunately, with a lot of children, because they don't know the details of, the relationship between you and their father or whatever the case may be, or you and their mother, they always in their mind want to see their parents back together. A lot of them. So it's kind of difficult for them to see the parent with someone else. And so you have to cultivate that relationship in a certain way. And, you can even make it seem like in the child's mind that they're first, and I don't like the word first and second and all of that. Really, I don't. But I think that a lot of attention has to be paid to that child. And listen, it's 18 years. You got 18 years to get the situation right with that child, because it's better to have a healthy child growing up than trying to fix a broken adult. So that's why, in my mind, cultivating the relationship with those children have to come first. It's different scenario if, you got a husband and wife that came together and those are their children. That's a whole different ball game than when you blending kids and families together. Because a lot of times that child from a different relationship, especially if the two come together and then they have children together, that child from the other relationship, they always feel some kind of way no matter what the parents do or don't do. So it's a lot of cultivating to make sure that the blend happens seamlessly.
The
That's just my opinion.
but the thing is, you can't let the BS come in your house. You
Absolutely.
can't let the outside influence come in your house. You can't have auntie talk about the ain't your real daddy. You can't
Mhm.
have your cousin sitting there chiming in. How he talking to you like that? He ain't your real daddy. And then that's
I
because like I
agree.
said,
I agree.
you trust. Like I said, I live this. I live
Mhm.
this. So
But
nobody
you're
can
not
tell
the
me
only
nothing.
one that lived
But
it,
yeah,
Kevin. Like,
you know what I'm
so
saying.
I'm
But
just saying,
people are
yeah,
talking. Yeah, but I'm saying I
yeah.
live this. So I'm talking from experience. And the thing is that one of the things for me which really took me over the top, I had access to him at all times.
Mhm.
So as a 16-year-old male who's coming up, who father's no longer around, who brother was in college, I needed a male role model. I had
Mhm.
this, this is before cell phone. I had his job number, I had the home number. I can call him 1 o'clock in the morning. He answered the phone and answer any question I wanted. He would talk to me. If I had a problem in the situation, we could have a conversation, things I could talk to my mom about. And that's what we developed our own relationship
Mhm.
within their relationship. So when they
Mhm.
said they was getting married, I was like, okay, it wasn't nothing new to me. It was just like, all right, was it what was next? You know what I mean? I just knew what was coming. So I was like, okay. And and I asked and I told you this, I only asked for one request. I do not want to be called a step. And I talked we talked to both of them. I said, I do not want to be no one step child. And they promised me they would never let nobody call me a step. And that was that. Anytime somebody tried to say step, they put him in their place. Bottom line, I was his son, point blank, end of story. So that was the whole deal. So when people try to come in and try to chime in, like when one of my family members tried to chime in, my aunt set us straight. My aunt stepped to her and said, well, I didn't say nothing. I look, I ignored her, but my aunt set her straight right then and there. Nah, we're not doing this. Boom. You know what I mean? So that's what you do. So you don't sit there, my nieces and nephew call him granddad. They don't sit there. My grandfather, I didn't know for years, wasn't my mother's biological father. I just know it's my grandfather. You see what I'm saying? Because that's the situation I came up in. So, you don't sit there. It's how you is like I said, you're the adult. You control the situation. You don't force the kid in there, but I'm saying is you control the situation. You gotta control what goes in and the nonsense that's going in and outside of your house. And my mother did that. My mother did that. She didn't let no outside influence come up in there. She shut all that nonsense down, and that was that. So that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, see,
Absolutely.
right. And that's true, Chris. But what if the father is around? Are there parameters that have to be set with the stepfathers? And see, that's what I'm saying. Your situation was a little bit different, right? It's a lot of dynamics, and you
Yeah.
had a great experience. Go ahead, Francis. You want to talk?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, for me, that's what my situation was. I was
Mhm.
dating someone who my daughter and him became closer, became
Okay.
close. Her father was he was there, but it was I never married them, but I she would call my friend daddy sometimes, or whatever, and it didn't settle well with my ex, which was okay, but their relationship was their relationship, and he tried to force it down. That's not your father, and I know who my dad is. I know I know who my mom is. I know who my dad is. There's no reason for you to get upset because she's already moved on to someone else. And that's the same way it was with me and his friend. And I told her point blank, I don't believe in steps and anything. We're all family. Now, if we can't get along as family, we can't coexist as family and we can't co-parent as a family, then I'll take her out of your situation and you don't have to worry about her because I have this. So, yes, there was an issue for him, but it was never an issue with me because it takes a village.
Yes, it does.
It takes a village. I don't care where you came from as long as you give her the morals that is necessary and everything that she does is ethical and everything you do is ethical and you're not abusing her. Absolutely. I don't care if she calls you mom because you are a mother figure. I know who I am.
Mhm.
I have the scars to prove it. So I know who I know that I'm your mother. So if her calling you mom is, I'm not upset because you are a mother figure. You know, just like me going and saying to my you know, God rest her soul, to my exes, calling her mom. You think my mother would be upset? No, I know who my mom is. So I don't, you know, I don't understand why any male or any woman should get upset if they call the other person. It's a mother figure. I know, and when my daughter was in school, early school, it was mamas and babas that she had to call her teachers. I mean, it's okay. It's just a figure of speech. Get over it. You know who you are. So I don't, you know, we all have to coexist. That's just my thing. And co-parenting was big on my list. That was number one. If we can't co-parent, then I'm gonna take her out of your situation and you see her at your leisure. She said, I'm not playing that.
Yeah, I'm on that. So yeah, co-parenting is key, but that's the whole thing. Co-parenting. You need two willing adult participants in
All of
order
them.
to
All it's not just
co-parent.
no, it's not just the parent. All four people have to
Well, yeah,
be
if
on
it's
one
four people
accord.
involved, it may
Yeah.
be three. But at the very least, at the very beginning, if you do have the buy-in of the actual two parents, you can get the buy-in of the significant others because usually people feeding off of the person they're with
Mhm.
sometimes. I'm not saying all the time. So if I am a person and I get with somebody and I have to co-parent with, the other side, if the person I get with, I'm like, listen, I'm cool. They can go over there. This can happen, that can happen. Most likely I brought somebody with that same energy and they like, you cool? Okay, I'm cool. But if you got the other side and they rah rah, y'all could be chill all y'all want. But when you're dealing with rah rah,
Mhm.
you got to figure out how does this work. And no matter how you talk to rah rah and say, listen, this ain't about us, it's about the kid. 9 times out of 10, you can't get rah rah to calm down. And so that's where the whole thing kind of blows up. I am in agreement with Chris. Everybody unfortunately doesn't mother the same, and I'm not
Mhm.
mother shaming. So no, you're not gonna be calling her mama. I had you. I got my C-section scar right here. And I'm not, and listen, I'm not really, I don't like the word step either. I like how these people are now saying something about like, I got a bonus child, I'm a bonus parent. I don't really like the word step, but at the same time, I don't even know if I need you to call her Miss So, so I don't know what you got to call her, but, she ain't your mama.
You
No.
know, everybody, and just like it's your opinion, is mine. I don't
Right,
have a problem with it.
right,
I know where I stand with my child.
right. Right,
Okay.
right.
Everybody has their own thing. And if you feel like you're being something is being taken from you because that title is yours because you had I got the scars too. But if I and I'm not saying that if I heard her say that, I wouldn't address it. Why are you calling her mom? Why are you
Oh,
saying these
yeah,
things?
I put it in.
Because but
Yeah.
once they give me a reason to say, well, she's like a mother figure. I see this. I say everybody's different. Everybody is totally different. But just like I said, it whatever relationship I'm in, and guess what? I'm not one, that person that says, because my ex was in several relationships after me. And I always said to him that whatever happens when my child is in your care, I'm not addressing the person she was with. So she was with your friend and the incident happened, I'm addressing you. So every person that my ex had encountered, there wasn't she didn't absolutely say, this is a mom or this is my mom. That's my daddy's friend, because everybody didn't get that title.
I got you. No, I'm following you.
She did have one young lady that he stayed with the longest after we had separated. And it was like, and she called her Mama Angela, Mama in her name or whatever. But, just so that everybody knew that it was nothing.
So I understand and I get it. And that's different, because different relationships can be a little more special. But you had me think of something too. It's like, when do you introduce the kid to this person, this new person that's in your life? Like, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so fine, to me, it's like, with, if you're going to have a significant other and y'all been together for years, then hey, you know what? I get it. And if the house is 50-50, she 50 over there, 50 over here with us, she want to call her Mama Angela, I ain't going to lose my mind. But now, when you got Angela one day, Tina the next day, you got to stop introducing my kid to all of these randoms.
Exactly.
Like, I can't, I don't want to, like, I don't get that. And I don't like that. Like,
no, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then my kid can't just stay with the random, and I don't know.
No, exactly. Oh, exactly. My daughter I've dated a few guys since my divorce. My daughter has probably met 3. And that's because those were the longest relationships that I were in after that. So it was a guy I met. We dated for over a year. And it wasn't until she was a senior in high school when I met him in 2015. She didn't meet him until 2015. She didn't meet him till after she graduated.
Okay.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But yeah, my daughter didn't meet. My daughter, and she didn't know the number of guys that I had dated, over the years. So yeah, no. I mean, the guy that I'm dating now, that I'm seeing now, I think was the shortest, because she came home from college, but she was in college, right?
Right.
She's already an adult. She came home from college and she met him because he had come to see me. And even then, we weren't even in a relationship at that time. We were just, talking. And that was the shortest. And that was only because I've known this man over 30 years. So that was the only, but any other guy, no.
Listen, when they in college and they good and grown, what you do is what you do. When they 18 and under, it's a little bit of a different ball game and a different story.
Yeah. Oh, I ain't bring nobody home.
Right. And especially like who you have around, who you have around your children, it matters also. Because sometimes you literally don't know until you know. So, Kevin, before we move on to the next question, anything else you want to add? You good? All right, guys. Here's the next one. Your best friend admits to often fantasizing about you and your significant other, and asks for a threesome. How would you respond? Somebody else coming through your door, Kevin, in your bedroom door?
Hell no.
Jesus. Oh my God.
Nah, you're not doing that.
Hey,
Oh God. Oh my God. I don't even understand that question. And you know my answer. Absolutely effing not. Absolutely effing not.
But so your best friend says this to you, and of course, okay, so we're all in agreement. Everybody's pretty much like, heck no, that's not going down. But now, how do you proceed, and how do you feel about your best friend now hanging and still being around you and your significant other? You cool? You can act like the conversation never really happened? Have
Hell
you lost
no.
your mind?
Hell no.
No.
Hell
Absolutely. First
no.
of all, why are you even fantasizing about us?
First of all, your best
And what
friend
do
would
you
already
know
know
about
not to
us?
ask that question.
Oh my God. Say that again, Kev.
Your best friend would know not to ask that question.
Thank you.
Oh, Kevin, let me tell you a story. When I was at Mount Clear State University College, first of all, at first the dorms there was suites, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So that means, the bathroom was in between two rooms. Y'all shared the bathroom, okay? So it was four of us that had to share the same bathroom, but two of us in each of the rooms, okay? Anyway, long story short, my suite mate, we became really, really good friends, okay? And she was bisexual, and I knew, but listen, your business is your business. When I say we hung together all the time, and I knew my son's father at the time. We were dating because, like I said, we dated for 20 plus years. Okay. So she knew him too. She was another one. All three of us would go to the diner together. We would share meals because in college, nobody had no money. We would buy one meal, an appetizer. We would cut that thing up three ways and we all ate it, had a good time together, had fun, and bought three sodas. And that was that. We paid our bill and we left. But we hung together all the time. I'm going to say it was 4 years after college. 4 years after college, she came to see me one time. We went, we had breakfast. We're sitting down, never forget, in the IHOP because I dropped the glass on the floor. He was like, Cheryl. She said, Cheryl, I don't know how to tell you this. Meantime, she just spent the night at my house that night and we got up and went to breakfast. I mean, I had dressed in front of this chick. Cause whatever, we all girls, throw me my towel, get my clothes, zip up my dress. I can't never, first of all, here's my other problem, but it is what it is. I don't care what size I really am. I always buy a small and a size 2. I can't buy the 2 no more, but I always buy a size small. So people got to zip me up, help me, whatever. Okay. So she done zip me up, did whatever the case may be. Well, we at breakfast and she wanted to tell me how she always thought about me, what she wanted to do with me. Was I in agreement? And didn't mind if the man was there too. The glass fell all on the floor. In the IHOP, I never forget that. I see her face to this day. I was like, what just happened here?
Yeah,
So
but
then I started thinking about all the times I dressed in front of her.
Too late
I'm like,
now.
well, I know it's too late now, but I'm like, so what you saying is your best friend would know not to ask you that? No, she got the strength and the courage, and we was
that's
back.
what she's always been wanting to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
It's
that's
not.
that's
It
what this
hasn't
question
been the
is
first
about, though.
thought.
She's been fantasizing.
Yeah, it hasn't been the first thought. It's always been the thought, and she just got enough courage to ask you over a hot plate at IHOP.
Over my pancakes.
Some good ass pancakes.
Chris said, block her. Chris, block her. Yeah, but yeah, it would definitely be very awkward. And especially if that's not your taste. If you're not in that scene, it's absolutely not your taste. And no, we probably wouldn't have any more conversations after that.
I still spoke to her after that. it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same, and it wasn't the same. Not because I was nervous, like she was going to do something. It just wasn't the same.
It became a turnoff
It
because
can't be the
that's not
same.
how
It
you
can't be the
expect her
same.
to think of her. Yeah,
Right.
but that's not something you would think somebody that's been in a room with me for 4 years of college or even 1 year. And she decided to move on, and I decided to move on. And then here we are 4 years later, and all of a sudden you have the nerve to even come out to me like this. I ain't happy with it.
No, remember I told you I've been new because I knew one of her girlfriends in college.
That she was fantasizing about you, or the fact
No,
that
no.
you knew her
Okay.
sexual preference,
Right.
but you
Right.
didn't think that sexual preference was for you.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah, it was shocking. It was a moment in IHOP that I'll never forget. And I don't even go to IHOP no
But
more to this day.
do you notice that conversation?
You go to Denny's now.
You notice that conversation didn't include your man, right? It just said that he was okay to beat it.
In other words, she would tolerate him.
Be there, but it's not to include him.
He would be tolerated.
Exactly.
He would be tolerated. He can hold the
Would be
camera.
upset. Girl, I said, girl, and wait, you can ask Chris, yo. I took him everywhere with me. He was going to baby showers with me before it was even popular for men to be there with you. He was everywhere with me. That man was my life, and I was like, girl, no, you can't touch me. Ain't nobody touch me but my man. Yeah, no, it was a mess. It was a.
But
She took a shot.
that was never your
shot.
that wasn't your thing. Yeah, she did take a shot.
She took a shot. She shot a shot.
Yeah, but she waited too late for that. And I think if she had asked you while you were in college, you probably would have beat up her behind. You crazy? Yeah, it wasn't the fact that was your man at with you? It was just the two of you.
No, it was just the two of us.
Right. So
yeah, she wanted you. She didn't want him.
She didn't.
He
want
he was the baker. You were the pancakes.
Girl, you was the hot plate for the day.
Yeah, he was the bacon. He was the butter on the pancakes. She was the pancakes. She didn't care,
She just wanted your boo to be in the corner watching.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
None of the above. But I brought it up, Kevin, to say some people are very bold.
Mm-hmm.
When they want something, they don't mind saying what they want. And so to say that your best friend would never even say that to you, you never know. I've seen people do and say things that, and some of them were people that I was like, oh, they were like that. They were always so quiet, or they were this. It shocked me. But that literally, like I said, I never forget. And I had orange juice. I had that glass was in my hand and it hit that floor. I was like, what the heck is going? I couldn't even finish my food. I was shocked. I was shocked. And I was really special. Oh, see, y'all wrong.
I'm special. Don't you know it says she was the hot plate for the day. Leave that fruit cup alone.
No, he wasn't there, Chris. He wasn't there. I don't think she would have asked in front of him. I don't think she would have asked in front of me. No, he wasn't with us. He went to work. He went to work and we went to IHOP. Mm-hmm. It was messy. It was different. But people are bold when they want. Did you
consider her your best friend, though?
No.
You say that again? Did
you consider her your best friend?
She was we were close friends. We were very close. Because like I said, I knew her girlfriend in college. I knew the one guy that she was dating. I was like, yo, he's killing you. He's bad news. Mm-hmm. I mean, you let yourself go down, but sometimes when we get in relationships, you have that person. It's similar like Billy. You have that person that you know they bad news for you, but you just keep running after them. She had a guy in college that was like that, and she ended up dropping out. Like he just had her mind all over the place. He was her he was her Brad. And I was like, yo, he's killing you. Why don't you stop? And so in between that, she was with the girlfriend or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So just because she asked me that question, it didn't negate all of the good times that we had together and the friendship that we had, but it did change things because I was like, all right, so all them times she was helping me get dressed, like I had stuff was spinning in my head.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So,
yeah. But like I said, you did what you knew her sexual preference. You just didn't think it was geared towards you. You
right,
just figured y'all were roommates, y'all became good friends, and now here it is. You're even asking me this. Have you lost it? And I'm
right,
losing it right now. So yeah, I understand.
right,
I
right.
get it.
It was
I-
shocking. It was shocking.
Not
Kryptonite.
kryptonite.
Yeah.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
there's some that everybody had that relationship where the person was kryptonite to us and we lost our natural mind. Yeah. We lost our mind. Messy, 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 messy. But yeah, so people will be bold enough to say what they want to say, Kevin.
Mhm.
Hmm. Yeah. I
Not
mean,
this damn way.
I
Would
had
you say
one girl,
not what?
what?
Not this damn way. Not this way.
Yeah, they
Not.
do it. They do it. Not, they do
Mm-hmm.
it. They do it. I mean, I've seen it in gay relationships. The one guy is in love with a straight guy, and this gay guy is just thinking that the straight guy is going to accept him. They've been friends or whatever, and he just thinks that he has this supernatural power to move him over to the other side. I've seen
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
absolutely seen it, but it sometimes it works, but a lot of times it don't, and that's why you see a lot of gay bashing because these men don't know how to keep their damn mouth closed to these men that don't want to be bothered.
yeah. All right, so we're going to throw out our next question out there. A woman feels her significant other should take care of the domestic duties since she pays all the bills. He responds, no cooking and cleaning makes me feel less than a man. What advice would you give him?
Hmm.
So pretty much the concept of the question is your wife pays all the bills.
I got
So
that
should
part. He
you
says no cooking and no cleaning makes him feel less than a man.
Yeah, cooking and cleaning makes him feel less than a man. So he doesn't want to do the domestic stuff in the house, but yet she's paying all the bills. What advice would you give this
So
man?
is he sleeping in the garage?
He in the wrong relationship.
He's sleeping in the garage. He got to be sleeping in the garage
Yeah,
in
because
his
I
car,
don't I don't see that. I mean, it's
and
like
let's
this.
turn it on.
And my thing, like I said, we can pick who we like. We can't pick who we fall in love with. You fall in love with somebody who's making bank, and she happens to be making a boatload of money. You know, then you do the other parts of the relationship. I don't see a problem. I guess maybe because of what I do, cooking is not a problem. But like on my last relationship, my girl was like, I hate doing laundry. So I took that task away from her. That's all that was. She
Mhm.
says, I hate doing laundry. So I was like, okay. So I just made it simple. I just took that task away from her.
Well,
You
we
know, so
doing
that,
half and half anyway. Period.
yeah. So,
Oh, you
Yeah.
said
so it's no,
you're doing 50-50?
I mean, it would. I can't always have you do everything because unless you're not working and you're sitting at home doing nothing, so
Mhm.
you gonna clean the house, and I shouldn't have to ask you. Now, if you're not a great cook, I wouldn't expect that you're
Right,
gonna do the cooking, and I'm not going to eat something that you cooked. All right, I'm not going to, and especially when you know you can't cook. All right, so that in itself is not something I'm going to do, or force you to do. If you can't cook, you can't cook. It's okay. But, and maybe what I would do in that essence is prepare the meal to go into the oven so that All you have to do is put it in the oven, and by
Right.
the time I get home, it's already ready. So, that in itself, and, sometimes you have to make that relationship fun.
Yeah. In this
Yeah,
scenario, Chris, he wasn't working. She was the one working and paying all the bills, so he
yeah.
wasn't
But if he
working.
can't cook, but you gonna clean. Absolutely gonna clean. I'm sorry, you're gonna clean.
You gotta wash something, cut the grass, do something. I don't know.
Ain't no cut the grass, do that. All of it. If you gonna clean. And I'm not, no. Just like I would if I was at home all day, you would expect a meal. You would expect, and the only thing I'm asking you to do is cut the grass once a week. Come on,
Mm-mm.
man. No,
Mm-mm.
no.
I
If
think
I'm home all day, you shouldn't have to come home to have to cook, to have to
right,
clean, to have to do all of those things.
right,
That's what I'm there for.
right.
I don't
I
watch
agree with
soaps
you.
anyway.
Yeah. I'm not going to, if I was a stay-at-home person, you're not going to come home to a dirty house. You're not
Mhm,
going to have to come home. I'm not saying we never can order out, but you're not going to have to come home and, we ordering out food. Like
mhm.
you got to do, so vice versa. You got to do your contribution in the
Absolutely.
situation.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
nobody and no one should have to tell you what your contribution should be if it's clear lines, if there's a clear line. If there's a clear line where one person is working and one person is not, that person that is not working and that's staying home, they should make sure that household is in order. You shouldn't walk through the door and the household is a disaster. It's like, okay, what's going on here?
Absolutely.
Where's my
What
where's my dinner?
that that is the scenario with Mrs. Doubtfire.
Right,
Mrs. Doubtfire, and the wife is the breadwinner, and he's
right.
at home doing and trying to be the fun dad, and tore the entire house up. Man,
Mm-hmm.
when she came home, it was over. But I don't think that he would have left it that way. He just wanted to be the fun dad. He just
Right.
didn't do it in enough time so mom wouldn't see it by the time she got home. So yeah, it can be, and I absolutely agree with you, Chris, because there's no way that you can't feel less of something and your wife is doing all the work.
Right. Right. Kevin, did you have something to say before we move forward?
No, no, just waiting my turn.
Your turn.
It's your
Oh,
turn.
it's my turn?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna ask my question.
Uh-huh.
So, ladies, you got a man who is committed to you.
Mm-hmm. He's
He
committed.
engages with
That's it.
he committed. He's engaged with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
He's engaged with you. He gives you what you want,
Mm-hmm.
emotionally, mentally, and physically.
Mm-hmm.
He's there for y'all. He does everything he needs to do as a man.
Mm-hmm.
But every now and again, he got something on the side. Is he committed?
Heck no.
You sure about that?
There's no how you committed.
I'm asking. Ask the question again. He's everything you want in a man, but every now and again, he got a little something on his side.
Wait. Okay. When you
Excuse
say
me.
a little something on the side,
Why
you
you
saying
gotta
he
have
has a
something on the
girl?
side if you committed to me?
No, so here's the deal, because a lot of women ask for commitment. He's committed. He's not monogamous.
Oh,
Monogamy is
you playing
different.
with words. You playing
I'm
with
not
words.
playing with words. I'm giving you straight talk. Because I had a
He's
woman
not
put that on me.
committed.
How is he not committed?
He's not committed. How you gonna be committed when you got to have something on the
So
side?
let me ask you a question though. If you got a man, he don't walk, he don't cook, he don't clean, he don't help you around the house, he don't engage in the kids, but he ain't sleeping with somebody else, is he committed?
Hell no.
All right then. So if you
No.
got a so that's you talking about monogamy, and I'm asking the question.
Mm-hmm.
You said
So the question,
committed.
I
You
said
said
committed,
committed.
committed.
Committed. how are you committed to me, whether you're doing everything you're supposed to do, but you got to have something on the side? No, you're not committed to me. You're just keeping me quiet while you go do what you feel you need to go do. Boo,
Have your
it
cake
don't
and
work
eat it
like
too.
that.
No.
Oh, he is $500. I saw this video on Facebook, I think it was. The husband, the husband is feeding his wife money. The first thing he says is it's basketball playoffs. So here's a couple of $100. You go get what you want to do. Don't bother me. And you know what? Take your son with you. And here's something else for him. And you know what? Make sure you feed him. And that to me irritates me. Why do you feel like you need to do that to get me out of the way and just say, look, what it is it's playoff season. You know, this is where I need y'all to be either out of the house, be in a different part of the house, and let me enjoy what I love to enjoy. All right. Go, let me be in my man cave and let me be bothered by nobody but this TV. But what you're saying to me is get the hell out of my face. Don't come back until I say so. And guess what? Here's something to keep your ass out. Excuse me. Keep yourself out the house a little bit longer while I watch this TV. And then is that commitment? No, that's to shut you up, get you out my face, and move you so I can enjoy what I like to enjoy. You know, that to me, I mean, even a man that goes to a strip club or a woman that goes to a strip club, I don't even find that that's cute. Oh, I'm going home and I'm going to. Well, guess what? If he don't fill you up before you leave, why you got to go to the strip club to get excited and come back home to your man or your woman? I don't get that. I never understood the purpose of a strip club, because all it is a fantasy that you can absolutely do nothing with unless you go and do something with that stripper.
Yep. I agree with you. So the
money that you gave her, you could have tipped me with.
What?
If you want somebody to shake my tail, their tail feather in front, get us a stripper pole for our bedroom. I will do whatever you need me to do, boo.
You know I get the pole. You know I get the pole. You know I get the pole. But she got me want to dance though. You know I get the pole. Francis, you know I get the pole. And I got my dollars ready. I got my dollars ready.
Right, and the money that you're spending there, I could. What kind of drink you want, boo? I will make sure I become a bartender for you. I will make sure that these are the things. This is why a lot of relationships go in there, because everybody needs that sexual fantasy. Let me be your fantasy if you're committed to me. Tell me this is what you want. But commitment don't mean that you have to have something on the side. So you mean to tell me if I'm committed to you, I'm giving you everything, we meeting in the middle, we doing everything 50-50, everything is, but you know what? I got to go have homie next door. You know, he just next door, right? How am I committed to you? Stripping supposed to be entertainment.
Yeah, but they go further. It goes further than that for a lot of them.
You know, we know what goes on in strip clubs, but you know, I just don't. No, that
not in all strip clubs.
I'm not here for the strip club either. No. And then I also feel like at the certain age, you should have got all of those kinks out of you.
Should have got it. No, well, are we married? That's the first thing. Are we married? Because if we married, oh, that's a different kind of ball game.
Yeah.
You know, if you just want to be my dude, I can't make, because honestly, we're still single in every right. We're not married. We're not married. You want to go do your thing, but just make sure that you don't live in my house, that you're not sharing anything at my house, but me when I feel like it. That's just how I feel. Because you can't live in my house thinking you gonna step out.
Yeah.
Ask the question that came up It was a speaker. Actually, it was in Jersey, and you don't realize how many women will accept that man. You know what I mean?
Of them, because a
Or,
lot of them are wealthy.
Wait,
yeah, but a
a
lot
lot
of
of them.
will
I'm just
accept that
saying a
man.
lot of, yeah, you're right. I understand that. I've
Hmm.
seen that happen. I've seen it happen. Absolutely. I've seen
And
men
then
and
you
women
have
go together
a,
to strip
you
clubs.
have a lot of women. I've met women who got that man at home who ain't worth a damn,
Mm-hmm.
but he ain't sleeping with nobody. And I'm like, okay, so you got monogamy.
But when you
Because
said he's not worth anything, what do you mean by that?
let me see, sits at home, smoke weed all day. He don't work. You pay the bills. He don't engage with the kids. You got to pick the kids up from the daycare. You got to drop them off. They're just happy to have a man in the house. You sit there and like every time I see him, he
But,
always on the block.
but he had to be like that before they even,
Oh
got
yeah,
to that point.
but
Yeah, so
the
I
point, yeah,
mean, but I
but
mean, you can't. Here's the thing, too. What you get is what you get, and you're not going to change what you got.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is, if you got with this person and they wasn't working, why did you think because y'all said I do, now they was all of a sudden going to become a superhero?
hmm
If you got with this person and they could not cook, did you think they was going to go to Barnes and Noble or go online and order 50 cookbooks and now become the best cook? So my thing is, you can't complain about what you got if you clearly knew beforehand this is what you was getting into. So I personally, and it's one thing the script clubs. She said the script clubs they do have good chicken wings. Girl, sassy stop. I can't with
they
y'all in the
do.
strip club.
I
But
know
y'all
a couple of them that got some good
I'm
ones.
not going to the strip club with my man. I don't want my man going to the strip club. I'm not here
Hooters got
for
good
it.
wings too. I'm just saying.
But who
I
have
heard
good wings?
Hooters.
Well, yeah, y'all go ahead on. I'm out. That's where
I'm
that's
just
where I
saying.
cross. That's where the roles cross the line for me. I'm done. Okay. So, but what I'm saying to you is that I think a lot of people they get into relationships and they think I do is going to change a situation. No, I do is not going to change anything. As a matter of fact, it might make it worse.
Yeah.
So
It's
I'm
like
not
having a baby.
right. I'm not saying I do if I know that there are traits that I'm not going to accept or I'm not in agreement with before I say I do. Right. So if you coming at me about my spending habits, right, beforehand, I gotta say to myself, that's probably how they gonna be if we get together. So I'm not here for it. You stay over there with that. I'm not doing that. If I don't like certain things that the person is doing, I'm not going to be naive and think when we get married it would be different. It may be the same, it may even be worse. There are some people that their work ethic, you kind of, there are some things you do know ahead of time, but there are also things that you have to say to yourself, what are your non-negotiables?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Hmm.
we all know nobody's going to be perfect. But what is a non negotiable? I have some non negotiables and I'm not going to waver from them. But knowing that, I also have to say to myself, I'm willing to be single the rest of my life because I'm not going to waver off of certain things.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay. And when I say single, as in single, I'm not, going to get married. Maybe
Hmm.
it's cool, we date each other, but I'm not going to cross that line with you because of XYZ. I'm not asking you to change yourself, but I'm not crossing the line because I'm not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends. But even if I'm in a relationship with somebody and I'm not married, I want the relationship to be between us, not you, me, and somebody else,
Hmm.
between us. And if we don't have that understanding, then you go your way, I'll go mine, and we can be friends. You got one
Hmm.
time to say something about spending habits and you get blocked.
I love Chris. Chris, you where you live? She live in New Jersey too.
Yes.
Love you, girl.
Yeah, because you know what? Don't if I'm not on the phone or I'm not telling you every day that I got issues, I can't pay my bills, my mortgage not paid, they came and took my my car from my house, they repoed it. Don't be telling me about the shoe or the sweater that I bought because that makes me think, okay, if you telling me about this, the next thing I know, you're gonna be telling me the kids should be going to this school, I shouldn't be doing that, I shouldn't be buying the sneakers. No, we ain't doing all that.
Exactly.
You ain't doing all that.
You don't count nobody. I was told a long time ago, you don't count nobody's pockets. You don't count nobody's pockets.
No adult anyway.
Yeah, you
No
don't count
adult.
nobody's pockets.
I'm sorry if I'm making
I
my
don't
own
want you count.
money.
I
How
don't
I
want you counting
spend
my
my
pockets.
exactly how I spend my money is my business. Now,
Exactly.
if we're married and you want to know this, oh, absolutely,
Right. That's
absolutely,
different.
because then it
That's
becomes our money.
right.
Hmm.
And we've had that conversation,
Right.
Cheryl, with our money and his money and my money and
Listen.
all that kind of money.
Cheryl
Yeah,
don't have no
yeah.
our money. Cheryl got her money. Cheryl don't have no
Listen.
our money. Cheryl
His
inherits money. She
money
don't
is
give
our
money.
money.
We
His
get
money is
this.
our money. Okay.
But
And I'm
Cheryl
keeping my
money is her
bonus.
money.
Now,
Exactly. So,
Cheryl don't have no our money. Cheryl have his
you know what
and
though?
and
Here's the thing, all jokes aside, here's the tricky thing. Because when a relationship is good, it's good, and when it's bad, it's bad.
absolutely.
And there are some people that are mature enough that when it goes bad, they they still won't do you dirty. There
Hmm.
are other people when it goes bad, they will do you dirty.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
the thing is, I don't like to say prepare for a demise, but you can't be foolish. So you do have to have something on the side in case the demise come. You're not falling down the rabbit hole.
Hmm.
So I'm not going to be falling down the rabbit hole. So you should have your account. I should have my account. And yes, we can have a joint account. And yes, while we are together, your money is our money. My money is my money. And my bonus, you already know how I feel,
I love you, Cheryl.
stays in my
No,
pocket.
no,
And
not if
listen,
we're
and
married.
listen, I lied to you not, Kevin. I lied to you not. I lied to you not, Francis. There has been no man in my life that I have dated that I didn't tell them the absolute truth about that situation. They knew who they were dealing with.
Yeah, but you know
100%.
what? Dating is one thing.
Right. I agree with
And
you.
dating is one thing. And if you all are living under one roof and you're married, you have to be married. I'm sorry.
Right.
You have to be married because, if you're just cohabitating and pretending to be husband and wife, because that's what I call it. Yeah, no,
ain't no
no.
like we married. Ain't that?
But, his money is still not going to be our money. You pay your portion of the bills, I pay my portion of the bills. But I couldn't, I can't. And
Well,
we got to
and I
get
think when
married
it comes
within
to
one
the
year moving
bills,
with each other.
I'm
Huh?
gonna be honest with you. When it comes to the bills, I think again, it depends on the couple. If your husband wants to pay all the bills, then he pays all the bills. I mean,
Yeah.
it,
But you
it's
know what? If he's going to pay all the bills, then a large sum of my money is going to go into our retirement fund.
there you
So
go. Right.
that would be the payoff on
The
that.
balance off, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You it's a give and take. I like to play around and joke a lot, but I will be honest with you. It's not a joke about my bonus. That's the truth. Um,
It's okay, Cheryl. I'm
She
not
hold on that bonus.
fighting
That
you
damn
on
bonus.
that. I'm not
Somebody want
fighting
your
you on
funky ass
that
bonus.
because I can almost guarantee you bought something for him with that bonus.
oh, let me
You.
tell you something. I will
Mm,
say this, right? We always treated each other well.
mhm.
Both ways. So yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah. We
Yeah.
both
So I mean, I'm so he got something out of it. Well, it wasn't necessarily monetary, but he got something out of it.
With that double coupon.
Not with the double coupon. Kevin, you are
With
Listen,
the,
you
fool.
you
got
know she,
listen,
you know she the
you
double
gotta
coupon.
be
You know she
smart
the
with
double
your
coupon.
spending. You gotta be listen. You gotta be smart with your spending. And if you got a coupon,
Use it. I do.
listen, I wouldn't care if
I
you
do.
got me the pocketbook or whatever it is I wanted, and you got it from all of your points for $1. What do I care? I don't care.
Exactly. You still spent money because you
Yeah,
had to
I
get
don't
points to spend money.
You know what's
exactly.
funny?
I
You
don't
know
care.
what's funny? A couple of
Like,
months ago, I saw that it was a woman I know, and she was bragging about something she bought for her man. Right?
mm-hmm,
She got it on sale, and then it
mm-hmm.
was something she wanted. And I told her, I said, I just came from the outlet malls. They got it over here, and she snapped. I can't stand no cheap ass man. I want my, and I was like, he better not use what you call that? No
Double
outlet store to
coupon.
buy my stuff. I'm like, you just use the coupon to buy his stuff. That's
But
different. That's
but
different.
you're talking, but
And
at
I
that
was like,
point though, you're talking about somebody that's not that mature and is a little petty, right? Because listen,
oh,
I would we went to Broadway, buy one get one half tickets. Like
I don't give a damn how you get it, as
when
long
you
as I
a
get it.
couple, when you a couple, you're really being mindful of your money as a couple and being respectful to each other.
Oh yeah, we go
Um,
to the movies, bring the big purse.
yeah. So like you not, some things is just to me is just ridiculous. I mean, I'm not getting crazy. That's silly. Smart shopping saves money for other things. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Go
Absolutely.
to the
Absolutely.
movies, bring the big purse.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Child, please.
And we go into Walmart first. Get them
I would
Twizzlers.
I went to the outlet and used a double coupon. How about that?
Right.
Oh, I
Right.
know. I remember. I remember.
Yeah. So wait. So here's the thing. Your ex gets a text. Okay, your ex gets a text from some female and goes, I had a good time last night, and he goes, or the ex says, well, that's my cousin. Um, how are you handling that text?
Who cares?
Oh,
Why
the
would you care if
cousin,
your
a
ex got a
cousin that
text?
you never met. It's a cousin
You
you never
saying
met.
that your ex though?
Your ex got a text?
I'm sorry. No, I read it. I read it wrong. So
Okay, okay. I'm like,
your current mate gets a text on the phone, right? And
Uh-huh.
it says, I had a great time last night. And they say it's just, if that text is from my cousin, but it's some cousin you never met. Are you okay with this text?
No.
no,
How are you addressing
very firmly.
it?
Let's call your cousin because I want to know what y'all did.
What's firmly,
Eh,
Kev?
My voice is going to be bold. My stare down is going to be. You're going to know I mean business. It will not be a joke.
Mhm.
You
Mm.
will. You will not mistake the question. You won't have to go, huh? You will not mistake anything coming out of my mouth, and you will realize I'm as serious as hell, as serious as
Mhm.
a heart attack. You're like, yo, who the hell is this? And what time did y'all have? If your cousin, I need to see pictures, how he related, who his mama name, cause I need to know, yeah, how he related to you.
But I can
His,
almost
his
tell you
mama, your
it ain't
mama,
no
his
he
mama,
that's
huh?
texting you. Like it's no he that's texting. Like because if it's your cousin and he is a male, he'd be like, "Yo, bro, we had a bomb time last night. A good
Mm-hmm.
time last night." That's from a female,
Mm-hmm.
or that's from a male. If
Yes, I'm saying. So I'm like, I want to know who this
really
cousin is.
your cousin, let's call him up. I want to know where you
Mm-hmm.
was because
Yeah,
what
this
you told
technology,
me
that's
don't match
FaceTime.
up. Because there's no way that a man or a woman is going to text somebody and say we had a good time last night if it wasn't a good time.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Because if it's your cousin, they're going to talk to you a lot different than um, this person that's texting you.
Oh, agree 100%. So we kind of talked about before previously, is there recovery after some distrust, right? So do you think that you can stay in a relationship, your significant other cheated, you talked about it, can you stay in that relationship after cheating has happened?
It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. And then if he's a serial cheater, and then
You said serial cheater.
yeah, he has to be a serial cheater,
Oh,
meaning that this is not the first time it's happened. You know, a lot of times, when things are going on, somebody will step out just to get that comfort, and it's happened before, right? And you come and say, okay, well, I'm gonna give you a pass on this one. But then here they go, they're doing this again. That's serial because you didn't learn it the first time. So if you've done it more than once, no, I can't get there. I'm not gonna get there. All right.
yeah.
But if it's one time and you haven't done it again, and I don't see that you've done it again, because I ain't caught it, because I need receipts before I even start going there. My receipts are always going to be beneficial to the both of us. So, you have to be a serial cheater for me to say, you know what, this isn't working for us. Absolutely, it becomes a habit.
Yeah, more than once becomes
Especially
a
if you
habit.
keep forgiving them. You
Yeah,
keep forgiving them. Come on back. Come on back. It's going to be okay. We'll work things out. No, it's not going to work out like that. It really isn't going to work. And obviously, I'm not who you really want to be with. So go on, move on.
move on. Yeah. Kevin, how do you feel? Because we're about to close out. Can you stay with someone like you found out they cheated? Y'all talked it out. They apologize. Say they will never do it again. Are you good?
It depends I mean, it's hard to say because I haven't been through that situation. But I mean, not that I know of, they did it. They did it underneath the situation. But it depends on how much you want the marriage. Because sometimes we think we've been through something, and I've seen people go through stuff where he cheated, she cheated, they still together.
Mm-hmm.
And my brother said something. He goes, "How bad do you want the marriage? And if you want the marriage or you want the relationship to work, then you can work through anything.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't want it and you want it, it don't matter what you do. It's just like you said, if somebody's done, somebody's done. So you can do all the stuff you want to do. You could say X, Y, Z, yada yada who, but like I said, it comes down if you want it. So if it's that person I really want to be with, is that person somebody I really want to spend? Is this a dating situation, a relationship we go together, or is this a situation where I'm truly in love with you?
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is that, and this is where the maturity comes in, especially for men. What are you doing? You know what I mean? What are you doing? You got you something on the side. You know what I mean? So that's how I look at that. So I mean, for me, I just look at it like that. So I mean, right now, it depends on the situation and how involved I'm into the situation, how deep we are in the situation. That's what that comes down to.
I have stayed after cheating, and my advice to all the young people out there, to people, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I think the trust level is never the same after
Yeah,
that.
that's not.
It's not the same. I'm not saying that it can't get better, but I don't know how it could be. Um, so I just personally wouldn't do it because when someone can disrespect you like that, and especially risk your life on so many different levels, right? And because and when I say cheating, even though they say emotional relationships is probably almost worse than just the person actually having a sexual relationship with someone else. I think they're both bad, but with the sexual relationship, you're putting me at risk too, and you're involving me in a threesome that I didn't even know about. So it's like a unauthorized threesome.
Mm-hmm.
You're with this person. you, who knows if you did use protection, didn't use protection, but even if you did, you still was kissing them on the lips and like, I can't do it. So it's like, I would never do it again,
Mm-hmm.
but I have done it.
Yeah, we
And
all have.
yeah, yeah. And but I would never at this stage in my life, I would never do it again.
No.
And I'm kind of what you said, Francis. If that's where you want to be, go be there, and good luck to you and be happy.
My
Um,
favorite line to anybody: you're an adult,
hmm.
and if you choose to be with somebody, I'm not the person for you. So
Right.
go do you. I can't hold no adult accountable for what they do. If that's where you want to be, go ahead.
Go
You're
ahead.
gonna be all right.
Right.
You're gonna
Right.
be okay. We all going to
We
die.
go.
Yes, says. I know that's right.
Yes, 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 honey. Bring the cousins too. Oh, with the text and whatever. And that's the thing too. It's like, what I I mentioned that I wouldn't go through somebody's phone, because I think once you get to that point in a relationship, I think at that point it's over too, right? When you just can't even trust that you got to be running through their phone, asking them like, "Where are you? What's going on? Where you been? Who's that? Who you calling? What you doing?" Like, at that point I'm done too. Right?
Mhm.
Because if I can't even trust you, I don't want to be sitting at work and I'm distracted because I'm thinking, are you really at work, or are you with this one? Are you doing that? That's not how I want to live. We're grown.
Absolutely.
I want to
Can't
be in a
can't
monogamous
sleep.
relationship. You're not ready for that. Carry on with your life. I wish you well.
You can't sleep.
You can't sleep. I'm not doing that. So we're gonna close out, y'all. And we'll leave with you, Kevin, as we close this out. What is your best relationship advice that's just generic?
Uh, if you hmm, good question. If you don't want to be in it, don't waste no one's time.
Yes, I
That
love it.
that
You pulled
simple.
through. You pulled through, Kevin. Look at you. Did you go get some water or something to drink when
No, I just my phone died, so I had to switch to my computer. But if you don't want to be in it, don't wait. That's how I feel.
Yes.
A lot of times because it, women think more about time, men don't. But as you get older, you sit around like and that's to say this back in the days, don't waste. You know what I mean? It's like when women give you fake numbers. I would say don't waste the paper and the ink. You know what I mean? Leave me alone. And so for me, it's like we grown, we good and grown.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of times you see people get in relationships for different reasons, but if you're not on the same page as me or whatever, on the same page, don't waste your time. You
Don't
don't want
waste
to be
your
committed.
time.
You want to. A lot of guys get in relationships because they don't want nobody else to have it, but they're
Or
not
they don't want to be
monogamous.
alone, like you mentioned
No, I'm not
before.
saying want to be alone, but the point is, I get with you, but then I don't want nobody else to have. Francis, you ever been in a situation where you go, okay, we just meantime between time friends, but then they want to lock you down? It's like, hold up. But they want to run around and do what they do, but don't want you to do nothing. And a
Absolutely.
lot of times people will get in those situations and wait, knowing they don't want a commitment. You got guys who will give a woman 2 and 3 rings because of pacifiers to keep her mouth quiet. They don't want to get married. So if that's why I believe when we talked in the last one about what do you put out, on a date. If you say I want monogamy, I want a relationship, I want to get married, put that out there. Don't
Exactly.
waste my time. So if I know this is where I'm at, if you a meantime between time, and if I sit there and say, look, I'm just having a little fun right now, I put it on the fence. Now if you want to get into it, that's on you. But just don't waste no one's time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that advice, Kev. So, Sassy said it's very hard to stay with that person. Her ex was a serial cheater, and she left because she started to step out, and then it was really over. Yeah, you also know sometime in relationships when you start becoming someone that you don't even recognize yourself. it's really time to maybe no longer be with that person because you're
Absolutely.
changing into somebody that's not you. That's what happened to our poor Cooper. But anyway, I digress.
Poor Cooper. Poor Cooper, my ass.
And then Chris said, "What if you break up after the cheating and he comes back months later, yeah, and claims that he changes pretty much?" Yeah, you
Go,
know what? Some people can change. I don't want to discount everyone, right?
It
Um,
ain't gonna be months later though.
Chris. Tell Chris to go back. Tell Chris.
It gonna be months later, maybe years. Yeah, you have to put some years on that. There's no months in that. I'm sorry.
No.
so
Tell
so
Chris.
month, a
Tell
60
Chris.
days ain't gonna work. 60 days ain't gonna work. Yes,
No,
yes.
you got to tell Chris to go back to the last one we talked about. When I said when God give you an exit,
Keep
okay,
running
it ain't
across the
always you
Run,
leaving
keep
him.
running and don't look back.
street.
Yes.
Yeah, because like I told you, that one thing I read it was something on Facebook. What we said, he won't act right, and God said, "I took him out of your life the first time. You let him back in."
Hey, woo.
You know what I mean? So when he was cheating and he left, God took him out of your life. That was the exercise.
Right.
When he come back, you the fool let him back in. You
Mm-hmm.
can't be
Yeah,
mad at
we gotta
nobody but
accept
yourself.
our
And he ain't come
consequences,
back to the
right?
exercise. He came through the front door.
He came to front. We gotta accept the consequences. We gotta accept the decisions that we make. We gotta
Absolutely.
accept the decisions that we make.
Absolutely.
Francis, how do you want to close this out? What's your best relationship advice you can give?
Don't wait until life blows up in your face to decide that you want to communicate about the situation. Start it
Mm,
and start your communication from the beginning. Talk. It's not going to hurt you to talk, and it's not going to even hurt you to cry. Men need to learn how to cry too. All of that frustration built up for them. They got to cry too. Let them cry. It's nothing wrong. I really hate when hearing, you got to be strong. You got to be strong. They got to let that frustration out too. So it's okay for both of you to cry.
yeah, it's okay. I love it. Yes, communication is pretty much your key. What you're saying there is like don't let it fester and grow inside of you. Like you gotta communicate, you gotta talk. And if you can't talk to your partner, um, y'all in trouble. You're in
Absolutely.
trouble. When y'all can't
Absolutely.
have conversations, y'all should be able to talk about everything. Like everything and anything. You should be able to tell your partner. So
You
I'll
Absolutely.
should
close
be.
out.
You should be.
Well, but you know what though, Kevin, if you can't, then that's a sign right there telling you that this relationship is not going in the right direction. So again, like I said, when relationships, when they're good, and when they're bad. It's unfortunate that it goes that way. But in the height of my relationship, in the good part of it, we talked about everything. And I'd be like, I'm about to tell you this. Don't say nothing. You shut your mouth. You know what I mean? Because sometimes, because y'all get loose lips, and then you want to tell your boy who knows my friend or this friend or that friend, no, shut your mouth.
Yeah,
This is between us.
we
This
we
doesn't
talked
leave
about
this
why did I get
bedroom,
married.
huh?
We
Yeah,
talked about why did I get
yep,
married. Yeah.
yep. This
The best
doesn't
scene in
leave
that
our
movie. The best
bedroom.
scene in that movie. Oh my God.
Yes, yes.
Everybody got secrets? Oh, I love that. I love that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
They will listen though, Chris. They will listen. They
It's,
will
it's,
listen.
it's gotta be about your makeup and shoes.
But
It
that's
be
what she
what
likes
other
to talk
things.
about. That's what she likes to talk about. They
Uh,
so yeah. But your man will listen because I listen to the whole basketball stories or whatever. I joked a lot, but I listen. But it's just that I was like, I don't prefer like I'm not watching 10 games, but I'll watch a game. Like, do you know what I mean? So you gotta learn your middle ground. Y'all gotta learn how to be with each other and still let each other have the space, but you always have to communicate. So I guess my best advice would be that when you see a sign, every sign doesn't mean you have to run, but there are certain signs when you see that sign, when you get 10 red flags in a row, don't ignore all 10 of them.
Absolutely.
Okay. When it says stop, yield, stop and yield and take a moment and say to yourself, is this something I can deal with? Or is this a deal breaker and I'm out? And don't let time, the amount of time you spent with the person, be the determining factor of whether you're going to stay or go. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? So if no matter if it's been 1 year, 60 days, 30 days, 90 days, or 10 years, 20 years, 15, if something comes up that you say to yourself, you know what, I can't deal with that, you have the right to look for the exit. You look for the exit. Yeah, good advice. Just one game. One game. You got one game out of me. I'm watching on them sports.
It's
But
okay.
hey,
And you know what,
That's
Chris?
okay. He don't need you. You
He'll
watch them
listen to
doggone
your
game.
yeah,
You
he'll
leave
listen
me
to your
alone.
short
That's all
story.
it is.
no
I
man.
got Francis. I'm good.
Yeah, there you go. Have fun.
Exactly.
Tell me the score
Exactly.
at the end. Tell me the
Yeah.
score at the end. I'll hear that part of it. Um and
But I
I
won't
watched
lose my
the
phone.
what's that
Uh-uh.
one? What is that in the basketball they have like they do the dunks and all of that. I watched that. Now
The
that's
All
fun to
Star
watch.
game.
The All-Star game. I can
Mhm.
get with the All-Star game. Outside of that, mm-mm. I mean,
Me
I
and
watch
Francis
my
went to the
game.
game.
Huh?
Me and Francis went to the game.
Yeah, because
I
I'm a
lost my
sport. I
phone too
like
many times,
sports.
but
But that's because I like sports. He wasn't going to go with somebody who didn't like sports
Right.
or that was going to talk his head off because of what she. We ain't got time for that. Let's watch the game. Let's watch this game.
ate like a pig and had fun. Oh, it was
Yes,
Exactly.
fun. It was fun.
yes.
Exactly.
So listen, guys. Love you guys. We will probably see y'all again next Wednesday live. There is a series, and I'm thinking about we'll talk offline. I'm talking like Francis and Chef Kev. There's a series out now on the We channel. It's something about trying to find out what happened to Easy E. I saw the first episode. It's actually really good. One of his daughters, because he had a lot of children. So one of his daughters is the one behind this documentary. I don't know how many episodes it's going to be, but I know they already had one. So when you get an opportunity, watch that. Maybe we I will leave on a Thursday and come back to next Thursday. Oh, okay, we're gonna miss you, Sassy. So I think we should probably get into talk about that series because it was so many theories about what actually happened to him and people was thinking he really didn't have AIDS because he was well one day and then the next day he just, pretty much died overnight. And then they go back to that clip. I don't know if you remember, Suge Knight was on one of the late night shows and he was joking and said, what if you just take a needle with some blood in it and infect somebody with HIV and then they go away like Easy E did. So they're kind of like in that series trying to see like, is this Easy E theory true? It was pretty good. It's pretty interesting, but we will definitely see y'all next Wednesday night.
Hold up.
Live.
One
Yes,
thing.
yes, sir. Yes.
Francis, you better go see Respect.
Oh, absolutely. That,
Respect is off the
off the
chain.
well, I know it is. Jen is just a beast anyway. So
Yes, she is.
absolutely.
She's an
I
amazing
saw
Absolutely.
it all the
actress.
way out there. Y'all better go see Respect. We're gonna talk about it. It is, and I'm gonna just give this caveat: watch the beginning in the house, and it links all the way back to the end, and we'll discuss that.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. So I guess maybe I got to try to squeeze it in. I don't know when because this whole weekend I'm like, I got stuff going on, but we'll see. We'll squeeze it in. But we'll see everyone next Wednesday. Thank you for stopping by. Of course, we got to say a big shout out to all our people that was in the building tonight. Thank you to Chris Loves Lux. Thank you, Latia. Thank you, Sassy. And we missed you, Sassy 1965. We love all of y'all. And I hope I just mentioned everybody that was in the building with us tonight. Thanks for chatting with us in the comments. We will be here next Wednesday. We'll drop the topic, one day early during the week so you can kind of know the topic. And I might be coming live on Friday, like a lunchtime with a special guest. Stay tuned. Thank you, everyone. Love y'all all and good night.
Good night.
Don't forget, guys, hit that like button.